Breaking news has shaken the entertainment world to its core. Theo from The Cosby Show has been found dead, and the heartbreaking details of his final hours have left millions in tears. Malcolm Jamal Warner, the man whose warmth, laughter, and charm lit up our living rooms for decades, is gone. And when Phylicia Rashad, the beloved actress who played his TV mother, Claire Huxtable, heard the news, she collapsed to the floor, clutching the gold chain he had given her back in 1988. Through sobs, she cried out the words that would echo across the internet in hours. "No, not my baby, not my Theo." For Phylicia, this wasn't a line in a script. It wasn't acting. It was real. She had raised him on that set. She had loved him like her own flesh and blood. And when Malcolm's final voicemail was played aloud, even the camera crew froze in shock. "Mom, if I don't wake up one day, just know you are my only light in the dark." That was it. That was the moment the room broke. People wept openly, clutching one another as the reality set in that this wasn't just the death of an actor. It was the funeral of a generation's innocence. Those who grew up watching The Cosby Show remember the laughter, the life lessons, the comfort of that fictional living room. All of it now feels empty. Clips of Theo hugging his TV mom have flooded the internet, and every single frame feels like a goodbye we were never ready to face. Across the globe, fans have posted the same simple plea. Please God, not our Theo. It's the kind of grief that sits in your bones, the kind that makes strangers cry together, because for millions of us, he was family. And now, the couch he once sat on is forever empty. Rest in peace, Malcolm. We weren't ready to say goodbye. The world wasn't ready for this loss. Not the fans, not the cast, and certainly not Phylicia Rashad, America's TV mom, the woman who embodied poise, dignity, and grace for generations. But when the news broke that Malcolm Jamal Warner had been found dead in Costa Rica, something deep inside her shattered forever. She didn't just cry, she screamed, falling to her knees before whispering 6 words that cracked the hearts of millions. "No, not my baby, not my Theo." To us, he wasn't just an actor. He wasn't just Theo Huxtable. He was the smile we looked forward to every week, the brother we wished we had, the son who always made his mother proud. To Phylicia, he was her boy, not by blood, but in every way that mattered. She had guided him through fame, through growing pains, through struggles the public never saw. And now he was gone. In her living room, she clutched that gold chain he had given her decades ago, the one she'd worn every day for 36 years. It was the last physical connection she had to him. When producers arrived to check on her, they found her curled up on the floor, whispering the same phrase over and over again. "Give me back my child. Please God, give me back my baby." She had the television tuned to old Cosby Show reruns. One particular episode played, the one where Theo and Claire have a heart-to-heart, and she tells him, "I love you no matter what." This time, Phylicia was whispering those words to a ghost. Then came the voicemail, recovered from Malcolm's phone just days before he died. "Mom, if I don't wake up one day, just know you were my only light in the dark. You kept me going when I didn't even want to go on." Silence filled the room. Even the most seasoned production crew members stepped out to compose themselves. Because this wasn't just celebrity gossip. This wasn't just news. Outside Phylicia's home, fans gathered with candles and photographs from the 1980s, pictures of Malcolm, Phylicia, and the Cosby Show cast. Adults wept openly in the driveway. One woman, clutching her child, whispered, "I named you after him." Within 30 minutes, the hashtag #NotMyTheo was trending in 17 countries. Social media exploded with tributes. Fans recreated his famous lines. Old clips of him laughing, dancing, and hugging Claire were shared with somber piano music in the background. One post read, "My parents divorced when I was 9. I didn't have a real family, but I had Theo. Now he's gone too." Another said, "This isn't nostalgia. This hurts like I lost someone I grew up with." The most poignant message, "This couch will never feel the same without him." Inside her home, Phylicia refused to eat, speak, or sleep. A nurse was called. The studio sent grief counselors, but nothing worked. She kept repeating, "He was my boy. He was my heart. I didn't just act like his mother. I was his mother." And everyone believed her. Years ago, at a Cosby Show reunion, Malcolm had whispered to her, "You saved me. You know that, right?" She kissed his forehead and replied, "You saved me right back." TMZ then released behind-the-scenes footage showing Phylicia whispering to Malcolm after a tough scene, "You're doing great, baby. I'm proud of you." That short clip drew millions of views within hours. This wasn't just nostalgia. This was grief for decades of memories, for a cultural era, for a safe space from childhood that suddenly didn't feel safe anymore. Then came the chilling revelation. A former Cosby Show writer posted to social media, "Malcolm once told me, if I ever die young, just know I wasn't running away. I was just tired of hiding the weight." I thought he was joking. He wasn't. That line, "tired of hiding the weight," ignited a movement. Fans, actors, mental health advocates shared it worldwide. "She's Not My Theo" trended in dozens of countries. At the center of it all was Phylicia Rashad, the woman who had given America strength through her role as the Huxtable matriarch, now publicly shattered. 3 days after his passing, Phylicia requested a private memorial service. No cameras, no media circus, just those who knew him as more than Theo. The chapel was dimly lit, a quiet sanctuary filled with close friends, family, and former cast members. Sabrina LeBeouf clutched an old on-set photograph from 1985. Cassie Knight Pulliam sobbed in the corner. Even the show's oldest crew members, camera operators, makeup artists, lighting techs, had flown in from around the country, unable to process the silence left behind. When Phylicia stepped forward to speak, she carried a letter Malcolm had written to her in 2014. Her hands trembled as she read aloud, "Mom, if this life ever gets too heavy for me, I just want you to know you were my anchor. Even when I couldn't breathe, your words reminded me I was still alive." She stopped, looked up, and with tears streaming down her face whispered, "Why didn't I see it? Why didn't I stop him?" The room was dead silent until a voice from the back said softly, "Because he was too good at hiding it, just like he was good at acting." That broke everyone. The grief in the room was no longer just sadness over his death, it was guilt. The knowledge that Malcolm hadn't simply passed away peacefully. He had been fighting a silent, crushing battle for years. Then they played his final voicemail, recorded just hours before he was found. "To everyone who ever believed in Theo, thank you. But the truth is, I never knew how to be okay. Not truly, not fully. I hope one day people will understand." Sometimes the ones who smile the most are the ones screaming the loudest on the inside. As the recording ended, Phylicia fell to her knees, sobbing, "Please come back. Please. I didn't get to say goodbye." The rest of the cast formed a circle around her, holding on to one another like a broken family trying desperately not to fall apart. The very next day, news broke that reruns of The Cosby Show had been pulled from multiple networks out of respect for the grieving cast. But fans weren't having it. They flooded social media with clips, bloopers, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage of Malcolm. People began to rewatch old interviews where he spoke about the pressure to always appear perfect. One resurfaced 2007 interview became the focal point. "I've spent my whole life playing the perfect son, the funny one, the good one. But sometimes I wish people knew how hard it was to carry that smile." Nobody had paid attention to that line before. Now it was everywhere, on candles, murals, tribute videos. Phylicia even reposted it with her own caption. "He was smiling, but I wish I had looked harder." Within 2 days, hundreds of fans gathered outside the old Cosby Show studio in Brooklyn. They placed teddy bears, handwritten notes, flowers, and even DVD box sets at the steps. Someone scrawled in chalk on the sidewalk, "Theo was all of us. We grew up with him, and now a part of us is gone." And then came the statement that shocked the internet, a tweet from Bill Cosby himself. "I may be locked away, but hearing of Malcolm's death, I haven't cried this hard in decades. He was the best of us, the only one who never turned bitter, and now he's gone." Regardless of public opinion about Cosby, the raw grief in that message was undeniable. It was a reminder that this loss ran deep through everyone who had been part of that show's family. Soon after, news spread that Malcolm's ashes would be scattered off the coast of Costa Rica, the very place where his life ended. Fans began organizing a candlelight vigil at the same beach. Even people who had never watched The Cosby Show felt compelled to honor him, because this wasn't just about losing a sitcom character. It was about a man who carried the joy of millions while quietly bearing his own pain. On July 28th, the night of the vigil, the scene was surreal. Hundreds stood in silence, candles in hand, facing the ocean as the waves crashed. Phylicia stepped forward, holding a single white flower. She bent down, released it into the surf, and whispered something only the